like I've pushed. I'm like, hey, like I want to be able to return, like even not even like just this year, but like even a shot kind of thing. So I'm in the depth for it, but we'll see.
Peyton, Brent has mentioned you as a guy that really versatile, particularly on defense. Just maybe how much have you been moving around through the first couple of weeks, and do you like looking at different positions?
So I have moved around a lot. I've played about 5 different positions this fall camp, and it's been a challenge, but I'm doing great at it. Like I feel like every day I'm getting better at it. Obviously, it's like not perfect because I'm still learning 5 different positions and I get put in at different places. So like every time we learn a new install, like I'm learning it at this position, like but they put me in a different position that day. So it's kind of difficult, but I'm taking it as a challenge. Like I'm gonna keep pushing through it and just do my thing and just learn it so that it comes easier whenever it's game time.
Has there been
How tough is that?
Is it confusing?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but I mean, you just got to think about it like you just got to try and look at it from a different light. Like just hone in on one position at a time, and then just kind of add the pieces together. Like in like say like cover two, for example. Like you just got to think about it. All right, he's this spot. He's this spot. So like if you know who the deep guys are, if you're like on the right side of the formation, you know to drop in the 2 spot or 4 spot depending on the strength. So it's you just kind of like try and add it together and it comes easier.
has there been anyone or anything in particular that's helped with maybe keeping up with everything and all the info that's getting thrown at you?
I'd say depending on where I'm at, that helps a lot. Like if I'm at one position, Billy will help me. If I'm at another one, Danny will help me. Like stuff like that. The older guys, I really lean on them, and they've helped out a lot.
What are your expectations just for yourself this season, being a true freshman, playing so many different positions?
I just want to get thrown in the fire, see what I have to learn and get better at, because that's the only way you can learn is losing. So, I mean, you're going to lose some reps as a true freshman against these older guys who've, like, gotten all this work. Like, we can be playing the college football playoffs and you go against Marvin Harrison. Like, that's the best receiver in college football right now, and that's when you're going to learn, like, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and just hone in on that and get better.
Any specific moments like that out here during camp that you can tell us about?
Not really. I mean, like, I haven't really guarded, like, Jaleel or anything like that. Like, I've guarded Drake a couple times. I always try and go with Drake or Gavin Freeman to try and get me better. So that's always a place that I have those receivers at slot to help me get better.
With each of those guys, what's the biggest challenge?
Each of those, I'd say Drake is more. He has better cuts and like gets you really well with deception and stuff. And then Gav's also got good cuts, but he also has really good speed. So I'd say that's like the hard stuff about them.
Do you think going against those guys helps you prepare for this season?
Absolutely. Like what I said earlier, iron sharpens iron. So going against good players is going to help you get better at the end of the day.
Is there anyone in the Big 12 or on the schedule that you're excited to go against?
I'd say if me and Jonte get in for OU Texas, that'll be fun. A little run back of semifinals for state, so that'll be good.
You've been here a few months, and obviously your recruitment was one of those wild ones, but bless you.
Thank you.
Has Oklahoma been what you expected so far in terms of players, staff, culture?
Yeah, everyone's pouring into you, and like they reiterate that every day that they're gonna pour into you, give you their all at the end of the day, and just make sure that you're the best person coming out of this on and off the field.
You talked about playing several different positions. The cheetah specifically, what's the challenge of that one? It's maybe different from some of the other spots.
I'd say the versatile of it, like the versatileness. Like you can be in the post some plays, or you can be down man on number 2, or you can be blitz off the edge. I think that's like probably the hardest part is that they have a lot more diversity.
Do you like
in that
that
position? Yeah, I'd say I do. I like that the defense wouldn't like you can show. It's a lot easier to see like you can show something way easier at that position. Like you blitz before, so like you can like all right, I'm in on 2 bombs, showing blitz like stuff like that. So I think that's really cool.
Is there anything in your high school career or in your first few months here that have helped you prepare for playing that position?
Um, yeah, I'd say the defense we ran, Coach Himes' defense at Guyer was really good. Like he has a really good mind and setup. So I feel like I could man, I played man at 6 yards like multiple times, and so like it wasn't really that hard. Like I actually played like how our defense works. I practically played cheating like our base defense. So I mean, it's not really that too much different. And so I say playing with him and playing 6A football in Texas was a great had like I feel like the spring game was really like wasn't even moving fast for me, and it was very like I knew what I was doing, like I was calmed down, and it was so I feel like that's what got me prepared the most.
Coach, I know obviously you weren't here last year, but talking to the other guys who were, the guys you were around in spring, have they told you about how different this feels in the secondary
Yes.
than a year ago?
Yes, they have. They say we have a lot more, I wouldn't say talent, but like a lot more athleticism and people that know their stuff and are going to fly around the ball no matter what.
Coach Venables always talks about how easy the mental side of the game comes to you. Is that something you've always grasped, or does that go back to your high school days of having just a good understanding, good baseline in there? Like, do you know where that's kind of come from, or has it always been something that you've just been like, you get it pretty easily?
I just say whenever I put my mind to like learning something, I can learn it like really, really easily and just kind of like I'm more of like a hands-on learner. So I learn better out on the field running stuff. So I think that's why in spring ball, every day I was just getting better and putting one day on top of the other and just learning my game and just perfecting it really and just trying to get the plays down so I can play my game of football.
Did you hit a bunch of summer walkthroughs kind of with some of the other DBs to try to continue that after spring kind of wrapped?
Yes, because you can't just like take a veer off from it. Like you have to constantly learn it. Like we always had installs during the summer, especially when the new guys came. We were installing, learning the stuff all over again, and just making sure you had the details down. And especially for me, like now that I was just one position in the spring. Now I'm learning five different. I meant five in total. And so like whenever you move down, whenever you try and learn them again, it's easier because like you're like, all right, I got this position. Now on to the next. Because you already know what each person's doing.
I know he's on a different side of the field, but what has it been like to be here with your high school teammate, Jackson?
It's been good. He's my roommate, so I mean, we see each other every day, and it's just like great talks. Like we'll chill out in the living room, like and just watch TV, like stuff like that, and like just hang out together all the time. We have the same friends here, so like it's fun.
What have you seen from him as far as growth and progress from when he started out here?
I think he's grown a lot. He's learned more of reads. Like I feel like our offense was kind of just like not one-dimensional, but I feel like it was easier for our receivers to get open, so we kind of just had to like fit it into a tight spot or something like that to one of the deep balls. And so I mean, he's grown a lot. I've seen like through progressions, through reads, and it's just been great to see him grow.
How'd you say you've grown since getting here?
I say I've grown a lot technique-wise. Like my technique's getting a lot better. I mean, it's still not perfect, like any means perfect. So that's still one of the things in my game that I think I need to get better at every day. So I'd say I've grown a lot though. Discipline-wise and just not trying to be the hero anymore. Like just do my job and then let the game take it over from there.
Peyton, you might have been asked about Reggie already, but what have you seen out of him this fall camp?
He's been great. He's a great leader. He's great on the field. He loves to hit. Like I love that I have to worry about having to run down the field because he's gonna make that hit on the weak side. So it's been great. Like he's a great tackler. He has great intelligence mind. He picked up the defense really fast, and so it's been great.
He's one of those more veteran guys. You feel like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You talked about changing roles now, being a guy that just does your job. I mean, what's that like for you? A guy that's been so well so long in high school and things like that. What's that like for you now, trying to play a role for the team and be best?
I say I'm still gonna try and be that star player that I'm supposed to come here to be. And I feel like now that I'm learning the defense, like now I know my job, I can play my brand of football and just fly around the field and make tackles, make interceptions, plays on the ball at almost every play because that's the difference maker I need to be.
Do you feel like it's easy to kind of transition into that, or is it more difficult?
So I'd say at first it was definitely more difficult because at first you're just trying to like, all right, don't make them mad, like just do your job, like don't try and do anything fancy, like jump off a route, stuff like that. But now that like you do your job, but then like you can also read the quarterback's eyes now because like you don't have to, instead of like staring at the quarterback the whole time, you can peek, look at different routes, and try and cut them off before they get there and just make a play on the ball.
Sort of along those lines, I can't remember how you phrased it, but talked about not trying to do too much. Is it tough as a freshman to come in and not try to press too much or make those flashy plays? And
Honestly, I don't think so. I feel like your mentality coming in as a freshman is just like don't mess up. Like so you're very conservative, I feel like. So you're not trying to do all that fancy stuff. Like you're very conservative in what you do. Like you're like, all right, don't open the gate too early, stay square, and like or like, oh, don't get beat deep, so open up quick, like stuff like that. So I mean, I feel like it's definitely like a conservative thing as coming in as a freshman.
We got to end, guys. They got to catch the bus here.